But anyway, speaking of giving me nothing to work with, we have had a segment that is suddenly, we accidentally did it a couple of weeks ago on one of the programs, and it has accidentally become just the belle of the ball as far as new segments on our program. People are loving this. Like the cameos. I cut a cameo. One guy said, Cornette, do me a cameo on the screwy things that Brian Lass likes to eat and his food choices. So that's done 28,000 views on YouTube or whatever now. But also, you came up with just on the sperm of the moment, right out of your ass. You said, hey, Jim, I'm going to read you some lineups from some of the wrestling programs I've got in my collection and see if you can figure out the territory and the year. And we've done that a couple of times, and people are loving this. They're digging it, as the young folks say. So we thought I really want another crack at it because I got a few, but I was off on a number of them just because of the exotic nature of the shit you pulled. So I want another crack at this, and the folks at home can play along. It's an audience participation thing. That's a good thing about this segment.
It has become a popular feature on the Drive-Thru. We did it once. It was literally, we're both tired. There aren't too many questions we feel like talking about. What can we do? And it ended up being a lot of fun for us, and the listeners loved it. We did it again. They loved it. So now we're going to, I guess, do it here on The Experience today to give everyone an idea of what we've been doing on the Drive-Thru.
Totally blind, completely no preparation whatsoever, no collusion between you and I.
No, none.
You're going to read a lineup from one of your programs, and I'm going to we started out, I think, on the first one said guess the town, but that's almost impossible since you got spot show programs from everywhere. So we're going for guess the territory and or part of the country and the year of the said lineup.
With bonus points if you get the town.
Okay, I can go along.
And also you have to try to figure out which match, as I'm reading them from the opening match up, that I think would be the giveaway that you would get the show right away.
Okay.
Okay, I have the first one here. I'm going to open this up.
I'm going to get some note paper here so that I can...
Whoa, you've never taken notes during this. What's this?
I'm going to write a couple of the matches down since you're giving me all these fucking stipulations now. It sounds like an AEW match. You got to get the territory and the year and which match gave it away and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, this one right here. My fucking chair. God damn it. All right. Ah! I'm going to throw this thing out the window. This show here, the opening match, Rick McCord versus Mad Max. The second match, the PYT versus Mike Graham and Angelo Mosca Jr. Oof. Pistol Pez Watley versus King Cobra. Jesse Barr versus Brian Mr. B. Blair. And the main event, Crusher Khrushchev and Jim Neidhart versus Sweet Brown Sugar and Dutch Mantel.
Well, second match gave it away. The PYTs against Graham and Mosca Jr. We're in Florida. Are we not?
We are indeed in Florida.
Okay.
A spot show in Ocala, to be precise.
Ocala, home of Dory Funk Jr. Exit 352, I believe, on I-95 down there. Not 95, but but 75. And the year... I'm going to say... God damn it. It's either 1986 or 1987, but it could go either way, I think.
Wow, I am surprised you got this completely wrong.
What?
1984.
What?
Khrushchev and Neidhart as a tag team?
Well, wait a minute. That would have been because Khrushchev wasn't Khrushchev. And Khrushchev and Neidhart were both in Mid-South in 84.
December 1984.
Oh, they left when we left.
No, well, Neidhart left at the beginning of the year, went to Memphis. Khrushchev was there at least through the summer, I believe.
Okay, well, then I fucked it completely up because I was thinking, well, and then I guess if I'd have fucking given any thought, Neidhart would have been in the WWF by 87 anyway. But I was trying to think, did Khrushchev, after the 86 run and he had tore his knee up, did they send him to Florida when they bought the thing? That's where I was going with that. So I thought it was after, but it was instead before. So never mind. I did screw that up. I got the territory. I was 3 years off on the year. 2 and 3 years off.
For the record, and I might be wrong, I don't believe they owned Florida yet when Khrushchev got hurt and went to the WWF to become Smash after Randy Cully was originally the Smash, and then they decided that everyone knew that it was a Moondog. We can't do this. So I'm not sure if he went to Florida then, but we could find out.
Well, he probably didn't. But it was, I was there at Atlanta TV when he was doing a clothesline off the top rope and landed on his leg and blew his entire I think it was it his right knee or his left knee? It wasn't his wee knee, but he had the same knee doctor that I did for my Starcade knee. And he said, Darso's just looked like a hand grenade went off in it. The cartilage, the ACL, the whole 9 yards. That's what he was off for. He was off from, that was early part of 86 way into 87, I guess. Anyway, all right, I botched that one up. What's next?
Here's the next one, the opening match. Mario LaPaterno versus Nick Bockwinkel.
Say that again 3 times fast.
Frank Townsend versus Wilbur Snyder. Guy Brunetti versus Dick the Bruiser. A special added attraction. Ricky Starr versus Art Mahalik. Louis Martinez versus Waldo Von Erich. A spectacular midget tag team match, 2 out of 3 falls. Sky Lolo and Billy the Kid versus Little Beaver and Tiny Tim. And the main event, 2 out of 3 falls. For a championship I won't name, just in case it's a giveaway.
Right.
Pepper Gomez versus Kinji Shibuya.
Okay, we're on the West Coast. At one point, I thought we were going to be in the Midwest.
That's what I thought would happen.
But at first I thought West Coast when I heard Bockwinkel and Snyder in the first 2 matches. Then Brunetti and Bruiser, Art Mahalik, I was thinking we were going back to the Midwest, and the midgets could be anywhere, but it would have been more likely they'd have been in the Midwest. But then when we go with Pepper Gomez and Kinji Shibuya, that seems to take us back to California, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and I actually thought that you would get thrown off by Louis Martinez versus Waldo Von Erich.
Well, then that sounded something like a fucking Buffalo territory
or Cleveland,
match, or Cleveland. But now, having said that, the year of that would be in the late 50s, if I am scoping this out correctly, because I can't see all those people being in the same place. Well, maybe 60, 61. Well, God damn it. Now that I've talked myself into that, is it 1961, the year of my birth?
San Francisco, California, the Cow Palace, September 8th, 1962.
Oh!
That's a tough one, though. That's a really tough one.
That's a tough one. But yeah, and by the way, I'm sorry I didn't say San Francisco because Gomez and Shibuya pretty well led me in that direction. But anyway, not bad, a year off.
Let's go a little back for this one. This is a tough one, but this is an interesting one. The first bout, Brother Frank versus Robert Butch Madre, judo style. The second bout, Brother Jonathan versus Rarnie Bummy Rogers. A special added attraction, Jules Strongbow versus The Blimp, 640 pounds.
Martin Levy.
That's right. Or Levy, but yes.
Levy.
Tag team match. Danny Dusick and Jack Claiborne versus George Lenahan and Hank Matheny.
Wait a minute. Hank Matheny, where did he become a referee? What territory in the 60s and thereabouts?
I'm not sure.
All right, anyway.
There'll be a pot of gold drawing at intermission. And then the main event, I believe, it is for the World's Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Babe Sharkey versus Dave Levin.
Okay. We are in the 40s. We are on the West Coast, I believe. By the way, Jack Claiborne was an African-American, was he not?
He was.
He was? And which Dusick was with him?
Danny Dusick.
Danny.
The bullshit Dusick.
Who was a gimmick Dusick. Sid Neighbors. He was a gimmick Dusick. Danny Dusick ended up being a fixture at the studio TVs of Nick Goulas and Roy Welch in, I think it was Birmingham and maybe some in Nashville in the 60s and 70s. And he was a promotional representative. God, they'd have him doing everything from ringing the bell to, can Danny Dusick go get Nick Goulas on the phone, whatever. Anyway, Strongbow and I got to think, I'm trying to remember when Levin had the world title claim.
Well, remember, Babe Sharkey has the claim here. Which is another whole interesting story that one day we should probably talk about.
So, God damn it, 1947? Are we in Los Angeles or the environs of Southern California?
Well, since you guessed that, I will say this is Los Angeles, California, the Olympic Auditorium.
Okay. And I'm going to say is somewhere between 45, 46, 47.
Again, it's another tough one, but you got it. I'm going to say you got it at least. August 8th, 1945.
Ooh, okay.
And by the way, the match between Babe Sharkey and Dave Levin, the former champion, the winner gets the blimp.
The Goodyear blimp, or?
The blimp faces the winner of that match.
Okay, so basically the blimp gets the winner, not the winner of the world title gets the blimp.
I see it that way. The blimp is the main attraction here.
Well,
looking at this program,
you can see it any way you want, but he was just the main attraction because his pictures were most impressive.
This next one's interesting. I'm going to read it as it's in the program, although one of the names clearly not the real one, but Ray Gordon versus Johnny Zenda. Tony Manos versus Gorgeous George, Danny Hodge versus Bob Orton, and the main event for a tag team title, the Assassins versus Chris Tolis and Jack Briscoe, 2 out of 3 falls.
Okay, well, obviously that's not the real Gorgeous George. That was probably Gorgeous George Grant.
It looks like, based on the picture, it actually may be Gorgeous George Jr., based on this picture here.
Okay, well, that makes sense because we're in the environs of the Leroy McGurk territory. Whether that be Missouri or Arkansas or Oklahoma, given the time period, is it going to be 19... And by the way, Bob Orton was just Bob Orton because there was no junior at that point. 1966? McGurk territory?
You going to guess a town?
Well, that's not a big card. I don't think that would do Tulsa or Oak City or Little Rock any justice. Springfield, Missouri, perhaps?
November 21st, 1966.
Oh!
A Monday.
A day like any other day.
The Tulsa Assembly Center.
Tulsa. So Tulsa, 3 matches with a gimmick Gorgeous George and a job guy as the opener.
Well, 4 matches.
It's a simpler time.
4 matches and 2 out of 3 falls for the main event.
Okay, was there 4? That's right. There was 2 nobodies in the... Okay.
That's right. I'm looking through here. McGurk's Mat Chat. Some news and results and advertisements from around the territory. This one could be tricky, or maybe an easy giveaway. First event, Paul Pershman versus Scott Casey. Grand Marcus versus Jim Drummer. Bobby Garcia versus Ken Patera. The semifinal, Red Bastien and Tex McKenzie versus Superstar Billy Graham and Mr. Kung Fu. And the main event for the World's Heavyweight Championship, Jack Briscoe versus Blackjack Mulligan.
We are in Texas. Ooh. That has to be, well, it's got to be either 1973, 74, 75, or elsewise Briscoe wouldn't have the world title.
Right, that's a giveaway.
And I got to think that it would be Jim Drummer, would be Count Drummer? Is that the same guy?
I think so. That's why I giggled. I thought that has to be the same guy. From London?
Yeah, Paul Pershman would later become Playboy Buddy Rose.
And didn't he have Kevin Von Erich's first match, I believe, while he was in Texas?
I think
so. Yeah.
So basically, we're in the Dallas territory, and we're in 1973. I'm just going to put it the earliest year it could be, because Paul Pershman is still Paul Pershman.
August 20th, 1974.
Shit! What town?
Dallas, Texas, Sportatorium.
Dallas. Okay. I didn't know it was Sportatorium, Fort Worth, whatever the case.
This one you will not get. This one you will not get. Let me go to this one.
Oh, well, you fucking just slough me off like I'm some rank amateur.
Okay, hold on. I thought you would not get this one. Because I wouldn't get this one, I don't think, but you may. On the cover, just for the record, famed gypsy wrestler here next week with a picture of Gypsy Joe and his wife. Here's the card. Alex Toro Perez. I never said it that way. Alex Toro Perez. Versus Juan Garcia. Pretty Boy Collins versus Silent Rodriguez. Of course, that's Silent. It only says Silent here, but
okay.
Ray Gordon versus Yaki Bravo. And the main event, Bulldog Pletchus versus Jesus Ortega. Jess Ortega.
The Bull
from Spain.
Bulldog Danny Pleaches.
Excuse me.
Pleaches and
the Lady Angel is here next week.
That's the year I'm going to take a wild stab. Alex Perez is still wrestling. Slinto Rodriguez is Silent Rodriguez. I'm going to take a stab at the year as being 1966, that golden year. And I'm going to say that is a spot show somewhere in the southwestern United States.
In a sense, you're almost right, but you're completely wrong.
Okay.
February 20th, 1960.
Oh,
a Saturday. Off. The Civic Auditorium, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
Now, that's not a spot show because that technically was Mike London's town.
I didn't say it had to be a big drawing spot. So I knew where it was. I was way off on the year.
All right.
I didn't know Slinto Rodriguez was that old.
Here is...
But I should have figured with Danny Pleaches still wrestling, it had to be earlier.
This will be our final one this week. I think this one will be easy. I'm giving you a layup to end with.
Oh, okay. Now you say that ahead of time instead of building up like, Jim, you're never going to get this one, to make me look good at the end.
That's right. Because I can give you a Jim, you'll never get this one to end with. I didn't think that was the way to go out.
No, I wanted to build up like, Jim, you'll never get this, and then give me the easy one so I look good.
No, this is too easy. People would know. It was a setup.
Well, we can't impugn your integrity.
The opening match, Prince Pullins versus Buddy Smith. The second match, Pepper Gomez versus Luke Graham. The third match, Mr. Clean versus Blackjack Lanza. The fourth match, Butcher Vachon versus Wilbur Snyder. A tag team elimination match, Red Lions and Red Bastien versus the new Chain Gang, Jack and Jim Dillinger. And the main event, Vern Gagne versus Baron von Raschke. I'm not naming any titles that are here because it would be a giveaway.
Right. Okay, well, we are in the AWA territory. And I'm going to say, since that's the new Chain Gang, what year was it that the old Chain Gang member got shot in the leg? It's Baron von Raschke, and he didn't start there until his run in Montreal. Mad Dog Vachon wanted to name him Baron von Pumpkin. I sound like I'm working this out on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No, this is good. This is what I want to hear. This is what everyone wants to hear.
Luke Graham is an oddity.
Second match against Pepper Gomez.
On that card, because he would not normally be in the Midwest talent roster pool. The Redheads, top babyface team, Lions and Bastien. I have got to go with either 1970 or 1971 in the AWA, and chances are it was somewhere in either, would it be in St. Paul? Would it be in Minneapolis at the auditorium, or somewhere in the state of Minnesota?
Surprised you didn't get this. January 20th, 1970.
I said 1970 or 71.
The International Amphitheater.
Chicago,
Illinois. Promoter Bob Luce.
Son of a bitch. Well,
I thought the Chain Gang was going to be the giveaway, to be honest.
Well, I thought they worked for Vern also. The whole territory. I was thinking because I didn't remember them using Von Raschke on top in Chicago and in Indianapolis and that area until a little bit later on than that.
Well, I have the program. We'll end with this. Wrestling Life, Volume 14, Number 1. Hate Ape! Destructive! Crippling! Inhuman! Who can stop the Beast of Berlin? And as an arrow pointing to Baron von Raschke. Baron von Raschke, the new king of Killer Breed! Brutally shocking facts! It's all true! No one can predict how far this German will go! It's so scandalous! Fact number 1, the violent temper that takes hold of him in the heat of battle, turning him into a wild beast, indicates he may be psychopathic. Fact number 2, certain experts say Raschke may be a former East German Olympic champion wrestler, explaining his great wrestling ability. Fact 3, doctors say his claw hold could be fatal.
Bob Luce, ladies and gentlemen.
Dick the Bruiser says he must be beat. These programs are great. And then here's the new Chain Gang with Chris Colt and the Chain Gang on the back.
They did a story on Bob Luce in one of the Midwest, I think it was Chicago newspapers, that I saw somebody had tweeted a clipping of a while back, and he's talking to the sports writer, and they're at the Sirloin Room. They're at the International Amphitheater, the big steakhouse, right? And that's where all the, guys like Bruiser and Crusher and those guys, they'd have the cigar and be wearing a suit after the matches, go and eat steak. But Bob Luce, they said, even though he was the promoter, he wouldn't go to the matches. He would hang out next door at the Sirloin Room and fucking have cocktails and whatever the fuck and eat a steak. And he's watching all the girls hanging out at the bar. And he tells the sports writer, he says, yeah, you see that girl? Yeah, she's a big fan of all the guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're involved in all those orgies. The orgies. Bob Luce, ladies and gentlemen. You know why Bob Luce always sounded so verklempt and out of sorts and was always speaking in bursts like that of It's because I have it under now good authority due to the autopsy that was done on Bob after his death that he wasn't keeping up with his manscaping. his genitals were not as smooth as they should have been, and therefore that led to his cranky demeanor and his unkempt manner and his strange way of speaking. Yeah, because, hey, when your groin feels refreshed, your whole body feels refreshed. When your crotch is clear, your conscience is clear, folks. And with the fine products from our friends at Manscaped, you can have a clear crotch and a clear conscience in the twinkling of an eye, and not even a brown eye, folks. It is the new Ultra Smooth package, a specialized groin shaving kit to help you buff, protect, and smooth your most sensitive areas. It comes complete with the crop shaver, the crop exfoliator, and the crop gel. And I'll tell you what, you will be slicker than cum on a gold tooth by the time that you can actually use this on any part of your body. Whether it be, top or bottom or back or front or whatever the case may be. But as I mentioned, the crop exfoliator, you can soothe yourself and keep the skin on and around your groin. You can keep it on and you can keep it feeling refreshed. It reduces the risk of ingrown hairs, Brian, and that's a big problem because those things, then you got to pick at them and everything. And then when you finally do pull it out, it's as long as a goddamn yardstick, and it just looks odd. 1 3-foot hair hanging off the side of your dick. They've got the unique clear shaving gel, so you can see where you're shaving, and it's got 4 essential oils, so it's like a spa treatment. Every time you shave, instead of sticking your package in a goddamn jacuzzi or one of those sweat boxes, just use the clear shaving gel. And then the crop shaver, designed with precision blades, extra wide lubricating strips, a pivoting head. And as we mentioned last week, pivoting head is the best kind of head. So anyway, this whole package, they got the Ultra Smooth package from Manscaped. If you go to manscaped.com/JCE, you get 20% off and free shipping of the self-same aforementioned package with all these exfoliators and shavers and etc. The Ultra Smooth package, 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/JCE. We've been talking about them forever. If you need to put your crotch in somebody's hands, put it in the hands of the people at Manscaped.